Hey everyone, Jojo here. Hope that you're all doing good, staying safe and healthy and active and curious and all those great things that can go along with we have more time. And I don't know about you, but I've been full of time lately. So kind of jumping right into the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali. Now we're going to explore Sutra number 4. So book 1, Sutra 4. And that's just going to be continuing on this idea of the self and understanding the true self, the true, the seer, right? The true self, and how the self expresses itself or can get clouded, right? So 1-4 reads Vritti sarupyam itaratra, right? Vritti sarupyam itaratra. And there's that word again, right? Vritti. And we saw that in the second sutra, Yogaschita Vritti Nirodha, right? So talking about those mental modifications again. And it means that at other times, right? Other times the self appears to take on or assume the forms of the mental modifications. And if we remember that, if yoga is, the second sutra says, if yoga is the cessation of those mental modifications of the mind stuff, and when those cessations cease, the third sutra goes on to say, and that's when the seer abides in its true nature, right? That's when the highest self is able to exist in itself and abide in its true nature, right? That cessation of excess thinking, the quieting of the mind. But pretty much what this is saying is that the fourth sutra is saying that if yoga is not happening, then all the other times, right, then the true self gets kind of obscured by all those mental modifications, right? All the thinking. And I think that this one's a really easy one to connect to, because we all know what it's like to kind of like get stuck in an identity, right? Like a part of our job or our lifestyle, whatever it is, but something about us just kind of rules who we are. I know that for me, I'm a musician, as you can see. Here's my bass. That's why I'm called the yogi bassist. And behind me is my over here is my synth gear. It's great. And I do sound baths, right? And I have a harmonium on the way, which I'm really excited for. I can't wait to be able to share that sound with you all. So being a musician is a big part of my life. I've been playing music since I was a child. And my partner's also a musician, actually. Here's his pretty guitar over here and our music room. The music room, right? So being a musician is a big part of who I am and my sense of self, right? But that's an identity. And learning how to break free from that, to recognize who you are beyond what you think you are, who people have told you who you are. And that's a tall order, right? That's no easy feat. It takes a lot of kind of dismantling some really strong held beliefs and values and attitudes, right? But if we're always identifying with the names and the forms, right? The forms and the identities, and then all of that can easily obscure that subtle element that is ourselves, that really subtle quality, that subtle awareness. And And when we are projecting our own identities and our own individualities, and we start to see the differences in others more easily, right? We can more easily separate ourselves from other people because they have this body, right? And they have their own thoughts and their own ideas and opinions and fingerprints and all these things, right? But if we're able to start to let go of who we think we are or what we think we are, then what are we left with? And it can be really easy to say, well, we're left with nothing if we don't have, our sense of identity, then who are we, right? But I think that's what this is getting to, right? In the Yoga Sutras, Swami Satchidananda, he says, and I really like this a lot, because this one really it really sticks to me a lot too. I think a lot of them do. But he says that if we could calm our minds and get to the basis of all these modifications, we would find the unity among everything. That is the real yogic life. That does not mean that we are indifferent to the changes and become useless to the world. Instead, with this experience of universal unity, we function better. Yeah. I'm just thinking about that, right? It's a lot to consider, but if you can just let go of, again, the identities, the forms, and realize that that's applicable for all of us, that if we just let go, we're all left with that same sense of just void. But in that void is like the pure identity, right? That's just the pure I am. I am that. That am I. The breath sings it to us over and over all day long. So hum, sa. So hum, sa. And in fact, if you want to kind of put this into a little everyday practice that can really help center and reconnect with that quiet sense of self is, if you're meditating or if you're just, hanging out, just whatever really, because you don't have to chant it out loud. You can mentally chant, just start to listen into your breath. And on the inhale, the breath sings so hum, right? And so is I am that, right? And on the exhales, the breath sings hum or hamsa, right? That am I. So the breath is always singing this mantra, the breath mantra, right? So hum, sa. And we all have that eternal mantra, that eternal sound, that nada yoga, right? And just connecting to that, maybe we might start to move past some of the opinions or some of what we think and start to just maybe see if we can just perceive things a little differently, maybe with a little more clarity, a little more undisturbed calm, right? A detachment from the disruptions or the distractions, So I just invite you to share your comments if you'd like to. You can just drop them in the comments or you can DM me what you think. And yeah, just consider that. And if you use that if practice, I've just learned that from various teachers. So tell me what you think and if that was helpful for you, or if there's anything that you already do to kind of practice living your yoga in your everyday life. So thank you for watching, and we'll move into the 5th sutra in just a couple days. So take care, and see you all again.